I will point out, if a client asked me to do this today, I would give them 2 middle fingers and say, go fuck yourself.
Right.
Don't talk to me ever again. And I would block them on
I take it all back.
That's just
And no.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 8th episode of Adtopsy. We got a mega show filled with all kinds of crazy skits. If you don't like the skits or the segments, let me know. We're still doing some dissections as well, but we got another packed episode coming off last week's, which is our top view count ever. Jordan, you have a big shoes to fill here. But we have our usual cast of characters. We have Aaron, assistant to the regional note taker and production manager at Fireteam.
Dr. Aaron.
Nope. No. Sorry.
Nope, didn't get that one today.
We have Ike, the video editor. Filling in for Rachel, we have Nikki, our client services director. As always, we have the king of D2C merch himself, Dr. Barry Hogg. Welcome.
That's me.
Barry,
$3,500 hat.
you got a doctor.
That's right. I won last week.
Link in the descriptions to get all that merch. Myself, Dr. Jess Bachman, and I posted on Twitter, who should we bring on the episode? And like 8 people were like, Jordan, get him on there. And we give people what they want here at Adtopsy. So Jordan, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, guys. It's an honor to be here. I am not a doctor, and I don't have very big feet, so I don't know how big these shoes are, but we'll see what we can do.
Jordan, tell us a little bit about like who you are, sort of what your deal is.
So my name is Jordan Menard. I am a father to a baby girl named River and a husband to a beautiful girl named Taylor. And I live in San Diego, California. I'm the founder of Motif Digital. Motif Digital is a full service advertising firm that focuses on D2C brands that want to scale ads to $1 million a month and beyond. So we only really work with brands that are really looking to spend at that 30K per day mark and beyond. And we do everything for them. So all the creative, all the media buying, all the strategy, everything. We're full service, analytics, whole nine. My background, I didn't actually start in D2C. I think the first thing that people started to notice me for was when I was the director of user acquisition for consulting.com. I was a one-man Facebook ad team at the peak of consulting. I was writing all the copy, running all the ads, doing all the data. And that was the first time I scaled an account to, 40, 50, 60K a day. From there, I started Longform Creative, which was an info marketing agency that worked with personal brands. I worked with people like Jordan Belfort, Dan Locke, the Morrison brothers, Jay Abraham, everyone. After a while, I realized that for several reasons, which I will not go into, that I like D2C quite a bit more and made the transition there. And now I'm here doing what I love. I genuinely love ads. When I found out about online ads, I started off thinking it wasn't even about money. It was just like I saw it and I was like, I'm going to be the best in the world at that. Whatever that is, like I'm going to be the best at that. And so that's what I do it for. I love playing sports. I played sports all throughout high school. And to me, it's just my favorite game, acquiring customers with ads.
Yep. Very familiar with your work at Motif. Great work over there.
Thank you.
How many tattoos do you have?
I think I just got... Yeah, I think I just got number 19 on my shoulder here. Yeah, my whole arm's gone. It's just an ongoing process. I have one artist who I work with, and despite my mom and dad's best wishes, I just keep going, keep putting them on.
Yeah, so we have a pack segment. We're going to do the Adtopsy challenge to start. Jordan brought a couple of ads, and then we have this a new segment called Explain That Tweet, where we're going to put Jordan, Barry, and Nikki on the spot here. And then we have a segment called Shit Clients Say, where we're going to sort of role play. We're going to deliver something the client would say that's a little challenging, and we're going to sort of role play how we might deal with that. And then if there's time, we have an autopsy patient at the end. So let's sort of get started. So the first Adtopsy challenge here from Jordan. Before we get into it, of course, the requisite bop is in the house.
It's time for the Adtopsy challenge. Only true creative doctors will get it right.
Wow, there
That's
it is.
$35 you've ever spent.
So, Jordan, you guys do media buying and creative for Obvi. Is that the scenario?
That's correct.
And then Ash just takes all those insights to Twitter and podcasts, so he looks good.
Well, Ash is truly a CMO, and in my mind, a CMO, if a CMO is buying ads, that's going to be a problem, right? That's a bottleneck. A CMO should be focusing on high level marketing, data, and offers and landers. So we were able to take over the Facebook ad side for him and make creative as well. Lets him focus on the bigger picture.
Is this new? Because I'm pretty familiar with their ads library, and it was mostly images for a long time.
Yes,
and now there's a lot of video in there.
Yes, it was. One of the big things that we brought to the table was, going really deep on what we call narrative ads. Ads that are videos told by a single narrator telling a story. And we thought that was something that they were really lacking. And some of the initial results were pretty strong and promising. So yeah, we've been going pretty hard on video ads. And the image ads still work though. And I think the combination of both is where you see the magic.
Yes.
Yeah, I bet that whole account is very biased. It just loves image ads,
Yeah.
It does. What we'll see is if you look at the top 8 performers or 10 performers in a really big account, it's going to be 6 are video and then 4 are image, but the 4 image ads will last forever, have a great CPM. It's really interesting.
Yep. So Jordan brought 2 ads. One did well, one did not do well. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, we're going to watch this first one. It's a minute 44, so let's get into it.
3 reasons you need to take this collagen every morning. Number 1, it stopped my hair loss in 2 weeks flat. 3 months ago, when I first started using Obvi's Super Collagen Protein Powder, my hair was in rough shape. It was dry, brittle, breaking, and worst of all, falling out of my head. Only a couple weeks in, I noticed my hair wasn't falling out anymore. Then it finally happened. My hair grew so much after 2 months. My sister saw one of my Instagram stories and asked if I got hair extensions. All it took was 1 scoop to my daily coffee, and my hair has never looked so strong, thick, and full. I'm absolutely stunned by how healthy it looks now. Number 2, it's a total glow up for my skin. I spent years trying to keep my skin from feeling rough and dull all the time. It seemed like no matter what I did, the older I got, the less firm and glowing my skin was. Obvi finally allowed my skin to have the moisture and elasticity it needs. It's the only collagen loaded with nutrients like biotin, vitamin C and E, magnesium, and calcium. So you know you're getting the most advanced collagen on the planet. Number 3, it's the best tasting part of my morning. I've tried several collagen brands, and most of them taste like drinking chalky water. Obvi's Super Collagen Protein Powder gives me the taste of all my favorite nostalgic flavors, like peanut butter cups and fruity cereal. The best part is, it's only 35 calories per scoop with 0 carbs and sugar. So it's keto friendly and perfect for any meal. How can something so tasty be so good for you? They're so confident you'll love it, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. When it comes to collagen, it's the obvious choice.
Okay. So a lot going on there. Obvi should probably pay us for that spot.
Yeah. Full placement.
And here's one more, 46 seconds.
Mid-roll placement there, yeah.
I use Obvi's Super Collagen Protein in my matcha every morning.
I'm obsessed. It's so delicious.
It tastes exactly like the milk that you have after eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Listen, ladies, we are not getting any younger, so we need to start preventing wrinkles now.
Okay, interesting. I have an idea, but I'll say that there's things that I liked and disliked about both ads. So it's not like it's an easy choice, I would say. So anyone who thinks it's patient number 029, raise their hand.
Like you're just following me in just because of last week.
I'm not.
Did I do that?
Unbelievable. No matter what I do,
I'm going to criticize you no matter what. Yeah. I'm going to pick it up.
Okay, so then I'm assuming Aaron and Nikki, you think it's patient 0330.
Correct.
Yeah. Wait, can I ask
Interesting
on
that the
what
gals chose
platform?
notes.
When you say one of these performed better, on what platform?
So we typically choose automatic placements. So it would be the sum of both Facebook, Instagram, and all placements. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay, guys versus gals. Jordan, let us know who the winner is.
So patient 030, when it was first released, everyone thought that was going to crush. We spent about $300. Patient 029, we were iffy on, and in a month, 60% of the budget was devoted to that one video.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So let's pick it apart. Let's pick 0330 apart a little bit. And there's one part in Barry, you'll probably call it out, but it gets to a brand, a super ad signal pretty quickly.
Immediate.
Yep.
Immediate. Play the sound. The sound was play the sound all the way up on the first.
Yeah. Well, as soon as you're here, it's like it's an ad. You know,
even the animated text right at the top.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I would argue that the non-native text from the first second is what gives it away.
Yeah. I would say holding the product up to camera for perfect frame 1, right? Is it not? I mean, maybe it's not perfect right there, but it gets to be perfect pretty quickly.
I think it's less than that because even if it was like an actual influencer video, people do that shit all the time.
Doesn't mean
Can
it
I
works.
swear on this show?
Oh my God, yes.
Yes.
That's a hard
Sorry,
yes.
I'm sorry.
Aaron is the first to answer that question.
Okay, good. But the non-native text from me was like, I wonder how that's going to go, because that would be the first thing that would give me the sense that it would be a lower performer. But I think when you watch them back to back the way that we did, and the first one felt kind of arduous because it was so long, that I saw the second one and I was like, okay, we got to the point. I feel like that's going to be better in market because people are going to like see all the things faster. I feel like if we had watched them in reverse order, I might have changed my vote. But anyway, keep going.
I think you can get away with non-native text more these days than you used to be able to.
Yeah, I agree.
I think on Facebook, yes, but on Instagram, no.
Interesting.
I think TikTok is bleeding into all of it, so it's less relevant. But
that's true.
Which I think we covered last week. Shout out to last week's episode. If you're watching this, pause this video and go watch last week's. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, again, like this is not a good hook. It's just like, forget about visuals we're talking about for a second. She's saying, I use Obvi's. You've already lost me. You've lost everyone who doesn't already know or care what Obvi is. It's not a good hook.
You would say the hook was a little too obvious.
Oh, I like you, Jordan. I like you.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
I think I agree with you, Barry. I think the issue that I had with the second one was if I don't already know what super protein collagen is,
exactly.
I'm kind of checking out, because all this ad is telling me is like how much these people love it. Whereas the first one, it's kind of like guiding me through what it does, and that it like keeps me invested throughout the minute 44.
Yeah, because the first one says 3 reasons you need collagen. It doesn't say 3 reasons Obvi is the blah, blah, blah. You have to, this is a category that most people you're advertising to have no clue what it is or why it's valuable to them. That's my perspective. You're still winning people into this category.
So Jordan, the typical thumb stop hook, or the thumb stop here, comes in the serial splash, it comes in first here, which is where I would expect it.
Right.
But this one, it comes in like the second shot at 4 seconds. That's kind of interesting. Is that like intentional, or what's the thinking there?
So what we were curious about is we wanted to see how a bunch of different faces and a bunch of people with different representations would fare all put into one mashup, right? So a bunch of people from different walks of life all into one video. The bottom one was very like person focused or people focused, I guess you could say. The top one was very like narrative focused, story focused. What's interesting is the thumb stop on patient 30 wasn't terrible. It wasn't as good as the top one, but it wasn't terrible. I think the real reason that you can really like the clearest differentiator between the ads is told in the story of the comments. You had so many people on that first ad talking about like, I just had a baby. I'm dealing with postpartum hair loss. Can this really help me? And Obvi has a 30-day money back guarantee. So if you don't see results in 30 days, you can get your money back. And so I think the story was really told in the comments, and people connected with the story far more than they connected with the visuals of different people. And that's what I found so interesting.
And the point you actually made that's really important, and I hope anyone takes away from this, is this, and I feel like I say this a lot, maybe not enough, hook rate isn't really that important when you talk about the content or the context of the hook. Because even
100%.
if you were to tell me that the hook rate for 29 was worse than the one for 30, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. But you're still, that is a more compelling hook for even if it's a smaller hook rate, it's more compelling. So the whole hook rate thing, I don't look at to compare. I rarely would look at to compare two separate concepts. I'd usually look at to compare multiple iterations of a concept or different hooks that I'm trying. But when these are totally different things, one's has curiosity and like people, it has education. The other one is just like product. Here's a product. Buy this product. It's a big difference in hook. So
I think hook rate can so easily be like over important. Like we can focus on it too much. But I think to Barry's point, it can really just be a number on the screen at the same time. Right? Like I've talked to some really smart media buyers. Shout out Eric Carlson at the Sweatpants Agency. He did a really deep dive on finding the correlation between CTR and cost per purchase. And he actually found a slight negative correlation, as in the higher the CTR, the worse the cost per purchase.
You're going to say the opposite. I thought,
no.
You said he found the correlation and I was like,
no, it was actually negative, right? So in that sense, like if you're over optimizing or putting too much importance and value on just that percentage of thumb stop, it can actually become a false positive in a lot of ways.
Agreed. Yeah. I think, by the way, a lot of that has to do with placement allocation. Like there's going to be different click-through rates on Instagram feed versus Reels versus Facebook feed, mobile versus desktop. Like all of those are going to vary. And just because it delivers more on one doesn't mean that it's better there, and those aren't infinitely scalable. Like the conversion rate on desktop is going to be higher, but it's more expensive CPMs. You can't scale there infinitely. So
That's also a reason why I don't believe anyone else's data. I just any type of correlations, like there's a million ways to fuck that up, very hard. So I think one of the reasons why I do like the second one is because it does have multiple different types of women. And I think that can be challenging to this structure where it's one type of woman. And if you find her compelling, you're along for the ride. But if you don't, or if you're like, she's too young for me, I'm 50, you might not be able to stick in there. But I do think it's a long video. You could have the same length by like shortening this journey and then getting in multiple women as well.
Yeah, I honestly picked patient 030 because I found the girl kind of annoying.
Yeah.
That was part of it for me. Whereas like I like the story and I like what she's saying, and I totally could get into the comments and be like, I had a ton of postpartum hair loss and that sucked and this would really help me. It's not that I didn't like, and I also really like the edit, but that personality in and of herself, I couldn't personally relate to.
I would
say, Nikki, I don't mean to blow up your spot, but that's actually our creative director and my wife. So
amazing, cool. Just over here doing one of these.
Amazing. Nikki.
But you're right. She is being paid to do it.
Well, there's that. I didn't say that she wasn't beautiful.
I'm not
I'll say
offended.
it. She's not beautiful. I said it. There you go.
Barry, I will come to Brooklyn and fight you.
Come on. But that's just that. Isn't that like the subjectivity of everything that we do,
100%.
right? Like
if you didn't connect with the
person or
narrator,
a different voice or a different whatever is going to jive differently with different people, and it wasn't. It might have been the person. It might have been the script that the person was following. It might have been the edit. It might have been anything. For whatever reason, I could not relate to this as a woman as well as I could relate to maybe seeing multiple different types of women. And that's
why we made Patient 0380, because I thought that the different faces would cause people to relate to it better. And what we found was like the opposite. And if you look at the comments on the ad, people, it's almost like they're not even looking at the person. They're just listening to the story, and they related to the story. The person could almost be anonymous, where in the bottom, even though it's all people, there was really no relation to those people. I think because of what Barry was saying, very product centric, product in the screen. I found it really interesting. It was like the bottom has more people in it, but there was less personal relationship to the single story, the narrative.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, because I love the points that the first one makes more. But I'm just imagining myself like watching it and scrolling through my own Instagram, and I think I would have just right through it. But had I watched it, now that I see the content, I'm like, that is a way better content piece.
There's a small detail in this one, which I kind of find fascinating, and it took me a while to pick up on it, is that I never see her talking. It's always VO. And so when I never see that, I'm like, is she really, there's just a little bit of authenticity that could have been solved by like just pairing her voice for like 2 seconds with the
I don't
video.
know if I agree with that, because this is more of the trend. This VO is absolutely on trend.
I get it, but
TikTok.
all you need is just 2 seconds of that to be like, oh, to satisfy my subconscious.
I don't know. Or would that 2 seconds
disagree.
made you think it's way more of an ad as opposed to more of a native spot?
Yeah, I disagree. I think there's something about, something that we try to do is like the anonymous first person voiceover. So it's like very clear that it's coming from a first person POV perspective, where we're trying to remove the narrator as like a person, in the sense that anyone can identify with that person. And for the same reason that mannequins don't have heads, we try to remove the barrier of this worked for me to like this worked for you in that sense.
I love the philosophy on that.
Yeah, I like that too.
I was just going to say, I think you can make a hybrid of these. There are bits you could take from 30 and stick it. I mean, as if 29 isn't long enough yet. You could stick some bits of just to get the different faces in at the end, because I think that is okay to do, just to take a single character story, and at the end, when it you know it's an ad, at that point you've watched it, showing multiple people enjoying it can kind of allow more people to like close. And the same for 30. You could try that with, I'm sure you probably did, but you can try that with some other hooks, or put some other content in front of that to get people to have more relevant attention, and then go into the rest of this. I think there's other meat there. So yeah, but I bet you've already done that anyway.
I was just going to say, we have a bunch of those iterations coming. We haven't found anything that performs as well yet as these single narrative ads. I'm not 100% certain why. I think the more we iterate, I would love to hear why.
It's because your wife understands the problem. Not just understands the problem of the product, but understands what needs to be made and how to make it. And I keep finding time and time again, it's very hard there are people that if you can make an ad, if you can shoot something like that, and you understand the ad metrics, and you understand these concepts, and you understand how to make stuff perform to sell, not just to perform to be an influencer, you have such an advantage over the average creator who's just making stuff based on what they see other influencers do, which isn't performance based.
And all of this stuff comes from like a true hard-nosed direct response script. Like if you saw the guy that wrote the script, like you'd crack up, right?
His nose is so hard.
The hardest nose in the land.
fortunate to have Triple Whale as a sponsor because they release new stuff to talk about like every single goddamn week. And so one of the things I just wanted to show is like we went through this creative cockpit last time. And so they have this interesting feature here where it's like, you set it up however you want, you toggle the ads you want to show, and then you can share this, grab this link here.
Cool.
And then send this link to anyone. And they basically see that, but they don't have to be logged in. And it's kind of crazy because all the features are still there. You can still check out all these things. You can see all this information here. So it's really fascinating to have something, a new something to like give to the client, a new way to report, or a new way to quickly give a lot of like fully. It's just a ton of information here, and it doesn't need to come in like a spreadsheet all the time or whatever. So crazy iteration going on over there.
Oh, I love that.
So brand new segment. Not sure how it's going to turn out. It's called "Explain That Tweet."
Oh God!
But let's just give it a listen.
Another jingle.
It's time to explain the tweet on Adtopsy. It's just like Twitter, but face to face.
How much are we spending on these jingles?
Yeah, Nikki, you gotta
Too much. Way too much.
We're the third sponsor.
I love this.
And also, is it the same person every time?
Yes,
Yeah.
it for sure is.
Okay.
sure.
Gotcha.
They're
doing
us.
a great
They
job.
just get us.
We're keeping that guy afloat right now.
So I have 3 tweets here. They need explanation.
Oh boy.
So let's start with this one.
Why don't we have a
Pass.
yes?
Pass.
I want to know.
Barry said, a little bit of branding can go a long way, but an overdose of branding can kill performance. Brand is a function of performance marketing, not the other way around. I feel like anytime you mention brand, you need to please clarify what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I did not think that this would get brand. I didn't know brand marketing Twitter was that big of a thing. But man, they got their knickers in a twist over this one. And I get it. I think it seems like the term brand and branding isn't actually what triggered people, but the use of the word performance marketing did. Apparently, people in the branding world think performance marketing is just optimizing for CPCs and just getting the most cheapest clicks you can.
And there's no performance there. There's no KPI.
I people took all these things and they're too broad and meanings. But what I really mean, and a lot of people did seem to understand this. This tweet did pretty well. But my point is that it's about the balance. Actually, Cody kind of chastised me or whatever a little bit about this, but he wrote a good point, which is that it was the greatest lie the devil ever told was that brand and performance marketing don't go hand in hand or something like that. And that's actually kind of what I'm saying is that you can't do too much of one without the other. I was pointing out that too much brand, if it's a scale, if you go too brand focused, you're going to kill performance. And that's what I was saying. I didn't say the flip side of that also is if you go too performance focused and you don't think about brand at all, that's bad too. I didn't say that, but apparently I should have. But when I said brand is a function of performance marketing, that's what pissed everyone off. And I just don't think of performance marketing the way everyone does. I think of it in a more broad sense of really everything should be performance marketing. Everything that we're doing should have a goal of improving the business and continually growing. And you should only be doing things that improve sales, performance, business, whatever. Brand, there's so many people that work on brand and branding that aren't tasked with improving performance of anything except for how pretty something looks. And they often get in the way of performance and they stumble on themselves. And I've heard of multiple businesses recently that have been scaling back their brand teams because they found that it was hurting their performance and their scale overall. Multiple businesses, especially in these hard times, I've heard that. So, I think in our D2C bubble, I think most people would agree with what I said. when we exit out of that bubble, I think there's a lot of people who still believe in this big branding, and everyone kind of says, oh, once you get to this size and scale, you got to focus more on branding. But I don't know, man. Like, yeah, Coke versus Pepsi, right? Like, they have to, get people to like choose one and like one versus the other, but they also have to still motivate people to drink a sugary caffeinated beverage. And that's the other barrier, like, that they still have to deal with. So I wouldn't even use Coke versus Pepsi as a good example. But
you passed the test, Barry.
Thanks. Okay.
I think everyone now knows what this tweet is about. Jordan, you're up next. Here we are. I can't believe I'm tweeting this, but we're seeing video view campaigns actually drive performance. Please explain yourself.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, so purchases. We're seeing video view campaigns actually drive purchases. This was during Q4. This was for a 9-figure brand. And one of the problems we were running into is we were looking at first time impression rate, and we were looking at how truly we were prospecting. And we decided to run a video view campaign at about 10% of the budget as the conversion campaign with the same creative. And what we found was 98% of the people that came to the website were new to brand from that video view campaign. And it wasn't super profitable, but it was actually driving purchases. And in all my past experience, I've never seen video views do anything except for drive video views. But we actually saw it driving purchases. It's not a strategy we use often, but in very rare cases where you really need to, get a campaign that can really prospect hard and drive new to brand visitors into the ecosystem, we actually saw video view campaigns work for a little bit.
You mean efficiently, or you just saw purchases coming in while you were optimizing to video views?
So it depends on how you define efficiently. Efficiently in the sense of bringing new to brand visitors to the website, very efficiently.
No, I don't mean that.
Yeah, so driving purchases at a good ROAS or a good CAC, not really.
That is what I mean.
Yeah.
That's why my knickers were in a twist about this tweet. Because I would expect if any campaign you run will track and attribute purchases. By the way, if you're running 7-day click 1-day view, which I think video view campaigns only run 7-day click 1-day view, it will.
We were looking at everything in Northbeam.
It will inevitably count purchases for people that you showed ads to that happened to buy, whether or not your ads had any impact on them. So that was what I took issue with. Sorry, I don't know if this is what the segment is about, but guess what? That's what we made it about now.
I'm fascinated by video view campaigns because I feel like if you can put a really compelling video, like a really compelling video in front of someone, and they watch a good chunk of it, is that not all of TV advertising for the last 50 years? And it's like, unless they're really just dumping the worst possible people into those pools, which might be the it might be the case, but I don't know. I would love to find a way to make video view campaigns work. I'm fascinated about getting people to watch compelling stuff.
So the first part of this tweet is, can't believe I'm tweeting this, because all we run is conversion campaigns, right?
Yep.
In this one instance, we were actually seeing video view campaigns drive purchases in Northbeam, right? So true CAC. That made it worth it to leave the campaign on, considering the new to brand visitors that we were getting, and for the cost per click. So for the whole ecosystem at large, it made sense. Now, is it a top performance driver? Absolutely not.
Sure.
It was the hot sauce on the burrito. It wasn't the whole burrito.
Yep. Okay, great. So Nikki, you are
How
now
am
up.
I next? I don't think I've tweeted in like 6 years.
I want to know what
How
it
is
is.
this possible?
I
My Twitter
had
is
to
dead.
dig deep.
Also,
dig deep for
why
this
are
one.
we not tearing apart one of Jess's tweets? That's what I want to know.
No, we don't do that here.
Does Jess use Twitter at all? I haven't.
Never.
So, SWAT vehicle moved into position. Nikki, what is going on here?
Well, in a previous life, as you can see by my handle, Nicole Brazier TV, I was a TV news reporter for local news. And so my Twitter was local. So I'll say this, Twitter is great for D2C marketing world. It's also excellent for news, especially like local news. So my Twitter was like popping back in the day because I was like on scene, on location, tweeting out a lot of things, looking at Twitter for a lot of things, especially from local law enforcement. And like the scanners are constantly now tweeting, and we were, after fires and car accidents and horrible things like that. So, I don't remember exactly what this was. Clearly, it was 2014. But I will say that when I was in TV news, I put myself in harm's way a lot when there were SWAT vehicles and standoffs and areas where I for sure could have been shot. So it's probably what this was.
Well, that was exciting.
Yeah, fun.
Oh, okay, good.
What I find kind of funny about
How many conversions did this drive, though?
Well, that's what I was going to say. What I find funny about this is you could probably tweet like, hey, there was a murder on this block, and there would be less outrage than me tweeting, I can't believe I'm tweeting this, but video views drove purchases.
Yeah, and this is exactly why I am no longer on the Twitter. We talk about this all the time. It's like Jess's Twitter and all of this kind of brings a lot of prospective clients and also just like great partners and stuff into the marketing sphere. And I am just so happy I don't have to deal with that bullshit because y'all get into fights like teenage girls, and I am not here for it.
I'm looking at you, Barry. I'm looking at you.
I am a teenage girl.
You are. I know. I know you are at heart. I see it in your heart.
We're gonna. I am on Twitter.
We're gonna come back to this sponsor pencil because I want to do this segment with Nikki while she's here.
Okay, before I have to go. Yeah.
Shit client says we have 3 challenges here. They're both something that a potential client could say, and
I'm excited.
I'd like someone to volunteer to take one of these, and then maybe Nikki, you can fix it or improve it or rate it or something.
Ooh, can we pretend to be one of the clients?
No. So, dramatic readings.
Can we do dramatic readings?
Barry, you go first. Do you want to challenge 1, 2, or 3?
Great. I'll go. 3.
They're all difficult. I'll say they're all difficult.
3.
Okay.
Nikki's going to be stellar at this.
I might shit the bed. Okay.
Well,
let's go.
Barry, you're client facing too, and so are you, Jordan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't.
Try not to be.
I try not to be anymore.
I was going to say, Barry, ooh.
Well, we're here to support you through this, Barry. So number 3.
Sure.
All of our launches and sales happen on Saturdays and Sundays. We will need full media buying support on the weekends.
I swear to you, I have used this. Did you make this? I've used almost exactly this example in a deck I've presented about setting and managing expectations to my internal teams. So
what do you say to the client then?
I would first gather data and try and find examples of where that isn't necessarily relevant. I'd also try and understand their business and figure out why. I've personally had to do this. Used to have to launch campaigns for AT&T for Taylor Swift campaigns, Taylor Swift concerts, where they would get photos from the concert of the crowd and then run ads for about 24 hours of photos of fans in the crowd enjoying the show. But, no one seeing those ads knew that or cared anything about that. It was the most silly thing ever. So, the goal was for us to get them to just, hey, why don't we just promote Taylor Swift and generic concert photos? Let's A/B test this. So we were able to do that. We were able to get them to agree to test the live photos versus the best performing photos from previous events, and which allowed us to then, when it won, just schedule ads ahead of time and get them to be scheduled to launch rather than needing to be actively working live. And if I remember correctly, we even got them to agree to just leave it on evergreen over the week because we also tested that. But there are times where they might just say, no, you can't even test something like that. We are doing this because our CMO says so. And you just have to do it.
So, Nikki, how would you augment that?
Well, if I can be totally honest, I think Barry is spot on. Way to go, Barry.
Also, I just want to point out, thank you. I will point out, if a client asked me to do this today, I would give them 2 middle fingers and say, go fuck yourself.
Right.
Don't talk to me ever again. and I would block
I
them
take
on
it all. I
Twitter.
take it all back.
That's just
And no.
I just wanted to point.
it back.
Well, my life has changed. I used to have to
Yes.
work in that kind of client
Yes,
services.
I agree.
These days, this
So-
is stupidity I don't put up with.
I fully agree. I think step one is understand the ask and see if there's a data way around it. See if it's like, do you want to do this because you're on some weird power trip and you want to tell us what to do 7 days a week, or
You should ask them that question. Are you on a power trip? That's a great question to ask your client.
or are you handcuffed by something that is like further up in your company, or can we
Right.
change this? And then the second way at it is, if this is a giant client that we need to keep because it is helping sustain our business, then we might need to talk about repricing our scope so that we can hire an additional person with the expectation that you work for Fire Team on Saturday and Sunday managing this account. What I will not do is subject my people who I have and impart a full work-life balance on outside of Q4, because that's not how I want to run my company. I would never say to anyone who has the expectation of working Monday through Friday that now you have to do this on the weekends. And I wouldn't shift their work, and I wouldn't be like, now you have Mondays and Tuesdays off. If we cannot price it appropriately with a client in order to sustain it well within our organization, then I tell the client, I'm sorry, that is not how we operate, and I can't find a way to make this work with you. Sorry.
I love you,
Perfect.
Nikki.
You said something amazing.
It's a great answer.
Thank
You said
God for
something
Nikki.
amazing.
Okay.
I want
But then I
wait.
give middle fingers in our internal Slack
Yeah,
channel.
there you go.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to do it internally.
Yeah.
But you read you stitched together what I said and what you said. The big thing you said that's the most important part is peeling back that bigger context from them, so that you can work together solving this problem of why are we doing this on a Saturday?
Yeah.
Because that's the context that you need,
Right,
so we can
right.
solve this together as a partner.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in my position, you can't, everyone else in the company can be like, what the fuck? And in my position, I have to be like, okay, let's just wait and let's just respond with normal, clear heads. Keep going, Jess. I know you want to move on.
Yep. Jordan, so you're up. Challenge 1 or challenge 2?
I'll take number 1.
Okay. Our font is Dominica Flambeau Grotesque Semi-Bold. Please don't use anything else, especially TikTok stuff, because it doesn't match the sophistication of the brand.
Oh my God.
I would start off by saying Flambeau Grotesque Semi-Bold is not sophisticated in any way, shape, or form. Just get a nice little roast in there to start. And then I would tell them that the goal of ads is to not look like ads. If you force your font on a platform where you should use the native fonts, you're going to stand out and not perform well at all. So if you want me to burn your money, I will. But if you want to make money, we should use the native fonts.
Yes.
But what if this person is like the head of brand? Because that's where you get a lot of these comments from. There's people who don't care about the performance.
Yeah.
They're like some creative director or whatever.
Yeah, I would ask what their objective is. Like, what is your objective? Because if you're running ads because you want them to look pretty, you are way richer than I had any imagined. Like, you're ready to burn money, right? And so I would just have a real conversation with, hey, what is the goal here? Is the goal here to, give you something aesthetically that you can look at, or is your goal to drive new customers? Because if it's to drive new customers, then we are not using Flambeau Grotesque Semi-Bold. Full stop.
Yes.
It's just as bad as Comic Sans now.
Yeah. Right.
Nikki?
Fully agree. Jordan is spot on. I would only add that I try to have this conversation in the upfront, in the scope building phase, where I say to them, we're going to deliver you a creative strategy and a digital strategy that shows you how we want to get into market. And I am not asking you if we are on brand. I am asking you if you see any giant red flags that are going to ruin your business. And if not, then please allow us to get into market and test these things so that we can give you results. And I would also go a step further, where if you are regrouping on goals and objectives, like you said, Jordan, and the objective is no longer performance, if it's like, I don't really care how it performs, it just has to be on brand, then I am instantly changing our entire scope and fee structure. Because if we're working off a percentage of ad spend or anything performance related, then we can't have that relationship. If we have a giant flat fee to run whatever ads you want every month, then let's do it. But if we're still on this performance-based fee structure, then this could be the end of that potential partnership.
Great. Okay. And then Nikki, I'll just stick you with the last one before you leave challenge number 2. We have too much inventory of insert uncompelling product. Please make and run some ads to improve sales.
This is real life.
This is
real
sounding
life.
very familiar.
I know,
I
man.
wonder who watches this.
Who hasn't? Have we not all been in this situation?
Yeah, of course we have. Of course we have. Of course we have. So, I may answer this in a way that not every client-facing person would answer, because the fundamental where we're at right now with our business and the types of clients we want to foster relationships with depends on a level of transparency and trust, not only in the ad space, but also in their business space. So we're really striving to be more than just an ads partner. We're really striving to get involved in the business from head to tail, so that, because, when they do well, we do well. And when they're making $10 million, they don't mind cutting us a $1 million check. That's a place where we all feel really good. So the reality of this is you have to try. You have to try making good on their ask in the beginning, because they're a client that needs to sell inventory and it's now sitting on their shelves. So you got to be like, yes, I understand where you're coming from. We will try. And if enough tries come back with enough data to show that this product doesn't have product market fit, we're doing everything right, we are not going to spend inefficiently because that doesn't help our incentive, which is your entire business doing well, then the next step is truly, can we have a conversation about how successful we truly think this product is? And I'm really sorry if this hurts your feelings or leaves you with a bunch of inventory in the warehouse. But the reality is, and we're about to do this with a client, this was a bad investment. This product was a bad investment. And we've tried every which way to Sunday to sell it, and we can't. And you will get a lot more value out of us as a transparent partner than you will out of me pretending that your ads are doing well.
Thank you, Nikki.
If I were an account manager at a larger agency, I wouldn't have that authority, and I would have to ask my director of client management or whoever to have that conversation with the client.
Thank you, Nikki. I know you have to go.
I have to go. Yeah.
So
That was stellar,
Jordan,
Nikki.
you had a very visible reaction to this one. Anything to add here?
Yeah, I mean, so sometimes we'll get asked this and I'll just tell them straight up and we'll be like, hey, as long as you don't want to make any profit and you purely just want to pay $150 for a $40 AOV purchase, then yeah, we can go ahead. But one thing I don't want to hear is you coming back and saying, why did the ads suck? Because I'm telling you right now, they're going to suck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they still will come back and be like, how come all these ads sucked? They still will, no matter how many times you.
Yeah.
Right.
I hate the situation.
That's why we keep receipts. Email receipts, screenshots.
Can we find a way to bundle, or
Yeah, free gift.
Yeah.
Yep. Get rid of this product. Yeah.
For sure.
Jordan, do you have a hard stop? Or
I do
Barry,
not.
You have a hard?
I'm good.
Okay. I'm going to go.
Thank you, Nikki.
Bye, team. Thank you for having me on this. I'll do this again sometime. I'll make more tweets so that I have less embarrassing things to explain later on.
We didn't make her put a background on. We got to get a virtual background.
She's got to get
I
a
didn't even know
background.
how to do that. Yeah, I haven't paid attention to anything since I've been on calls since 9 a.m. Okay, bye.
Bye, Nikki.
So
Can I tell a fun story real quick about the? Oh, you know what? I actually forgot what it was going to be about. Never mind. My brain.
Wow. Think about it. We'll come back to you, Barry.
I really like the use of creepy Willy Wonka and all of these. Thank you, Jess.
Oh.
That made my day.
I remember the story. Okay. So I work with I don't need to name names. I worked with a company that made T-shirts that wasn't their primary product, but they made T-shirts about during the pandemic, about the pandemic, and or about New York and whatever. It was great. But on the back of the shirt, they had a full quote from a now disgraced governor.
Oh.
I think there's a couple that they made that was on the front of the shirt too. But I own 2 of these shirts and I cannot wear them in public anymore because of the disgraced governor.
Amazing.
So, and they had inventory, tons of inventory.
I'm not sure they can even give those away at that point.
You can't.
No, you can put it on eBay, and the MAGA crowd will bid that thing up. I'm sure.
Yeah,
probably not. They'd be embarrassed to wear that.
That's
too.
a good strategy.
Or you could do what the losing Super Bowl team does when they buy all the Super Bowl championship shirts, and then they just ship them to another continent.
This is actually, just to be clear, that I'm 99% sure that is exactly what happened to those shirts.
Yeah. There's kids in Guatemala digging through garbage wearing those shirts.
God.
Wearing Cuomo shirts.
Yeah, yep, that's it. Yep.
Amazing.
Okay, so to run through this little sponsor segment, Pencil is an AI-based ad creation tool. So I put this into Dolly, a 24-year-old woman holding a bar of soap. She looks obsessed. The image is user-generated content that would get posted to Instagram. And
She
these
looks
are
obsessed.
there's a certain level of obsession in her eyes.
It's a really scary obsession.
I also did this with Stable Diffusion, which is a newer one. And these look better. They look more Instagram worthy. And I kind of feel that like AI is absolutely coming for static UGC. I think video is real hard, but there's going to be a company that can like, you can do some quick training on what your product looks like, and it's going to be able to put it in there. And pretty soon it'll be indiscernible from what you see on Instagram these days.
Bottom left has a weird hand going on. What is that?
Oh, this finger?
That's some photoshopping.
Salad fingers. Yeah.
Right. It's early, and you can edit and regenerate. This is like the first generation. So
Not
it's
bad.
I also noticed that they gave this one a brand. It's called Oop. So what I did is I sort of ran with that a little bit, and I went to Logo AI, which generates AI-based logos.
Oh my!
For Oop.
The whole brand. I love it.
So I generated a bunch. This is a free tool. I chose this one. It seemed pretty.
That's the right one.
That's the right one for
sure. That's the one you chose?
Oop for humans. Oop. Yep. So then I went to Copy AI because I wanted to get this all into the Pencil to create an actual ad unit for this brand. I went to Copy AI. I said, you know, it's soap for humans. Humans really love it. Formulated for human skin, made on planet Earth. It makes your hair feel like beautiful human hair used in the shower. And so what we got back,
planet Earth is fantastic.
humans really love it.
Humans love it for human skin and human hair.
the
Like
description
what?
is, the way we sum up our philosophy is this: we're soap for humans. Humans really love it. Made on planet Earth. It's formulated for human skin and hair. So use it in the shower, wherever you do your thing. Don't be afraid to take it with you. It makes you feel like your hair feel like beautiful human hair.
P.S. Robots are not coming to take over the world.
Yeah. Oh man.
Pencil also needs a. What were you gonna say?
No, go for it.
Okay. Pencil also needs a brand description, so I got one of those too. Our soap is for humans. Humans have lots of hair, eyes, and ears, so we created a bar soap that makes a delightful lather for your face and body. Your nose will thank you for using it every morning in the shower. Your skin is protected, yada yada. We formulated Oop to be made of ingredients that are safe for human skin and safe for the planet made of planet Earth.
That is fun. I want to do that every week and make up a new brand.
Yeah, that's a new show. Let's just make that show.
Let's just do that.
So then you go into Pencil and you put in all the brand assets, which I did, and you put in these descriptions, and you can put in some topics. I don't know, and then you click generate, and then you generate copy, and it generates like this storyboard that you can then change, and this storyboard becomes the basis of the video. So I put in all the assets that I got from all those other things, and now I present
Let's go.
Soap for humans.
Oh, I'm excited.
Oh God.
World premiere.
This is
Here we
so
go.
good.
Yeah. Good.
Oh.
Yes.
You have human skin?
Or do you have reptilian skin?
I keep laughing. This is shockingly an ad.
We ready for
Despite
prime
all
time with
odds.
this?
I like the girl that's like, I'm obsessed, and she's like, I will kill you with this soap.
Shop
So-
for human soap is the button. I love that.
I love
I
that
wish it said
humans
soap.
have lots of skin and eyes.
I wish
Who describes people like that?
I wish the word soap was much smaller, so it just said shop for human.
So
Wait, by the way, all I have in my head, and I keep laughing about, is like it's like oops all. So I think about like the oops all berry or oops all whatever, like the cereal, but it's oops all soap, and for some reason That's killing me. The idea that you're selling soap that's accidentally all
or what about Oops All Human?
Yeah, right.
This was fun. I really want to do this every week.
Yeah. So the point of this is this is obviously not the best ad, but you can very easily go into Pencil and change it and edit it. They do have a video editor and a text editor, but great for getting a ton of different iterations. If you have a lot of assets, treat it free to try out. So absolutely do it.
Yeah, I feel like if you're a small business starting out, that would be a really good starting out point. You know what I mean?
And to anyone watching this, we're having a hoot with this, but Jess just went from 0 to ad in nothing.
With nothing, right?
So if you are struggling to the internal process is too slow, we can't get ads created, so and so won't make ads fast enough, just go get Pencil, throw some images in, throw some ad copy in, and then you can iterate from there.
And if your target audience has a lot of eyes, this ad's gonna hit.
Or noses,
if it has
ears, skin.
If they have skin. As an editor, in 5 years, I'm going to be unemployed, though. This is kind of scary to me, but hey.
It's crazy to see.
Yep. 2 years. Are you guys ready for one more? Do you have, think we can do one more?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I have not been taking any notes, by the way.
Oh, my gosh.
I just enjoyed my time. What was I going to say about the tweet?
Patient 31.
Oh,
what is this?
Jesus.
What is this Patient 31?
I just lost my job. Shit.
All right, so this is an opportunity for us to show one of the ads that we've done and get feedback from these experts, Jordan and Barry in particular, because we've given a bunch of edits, and so you also don't know what you don't know, and wider perspectives is also interesting. So we can watch this one. I will say that this is what we call a base unit. So usually there's other hooks and there's 20 seconds that come before this, but we do also run this as a straight up unit as well. So feel free to not be kind here.
Oh.
Great.
Here we go.
You say you love cookies, but then you eat this? I'ma help you out. The best damn cookies on this sweet earth come from home dough. They're shipped frozen. You just toss them in the oven and 15 minutes later, you are in ooey gooey cookie heaven.
I'm gonna try dipping my home dough cookie in milk. So good.
Home dough makes the best cookies around.
Jess, all I want is for y'all to go make a parody ad of someone biting into a normal chocolate chip cookie and just spitting, dipping it in milk, biting
Chipping
it,
their teeth.
spitting it out. Oh, trash! Does this happen to you?
This isn't home dough.
I'm less interested in what you do like and more interested in what you don't like. Barry, I know you will talk forever. So yes. Jordan,
here we go.
Any thoughts on any parts of this? I can replay it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of thoughts, especially after the feedback that the narrator in this ad gave to what we made. But I would just say that intro is so over the top. It's
sure.
The whole body language is being obsessed. It's it epitomizes that. Instantly lets me know that it's a paid creator. And yeah, I just that hook was really tough. And then to Barry's point, bites the cookie so good. Kind of where did the soda go?
Yep. Agree, 100%.
This ad isn't terrible.
No, it's not terrible.
He doesn't want to hurt Ike's feelings.
No, I'll hurt your feelings. Don't be
Bring
worried.
it on.
But yeah, I mean, Jordan covered the hook. There's a lot more. This is just hard. This is something hard to do because you're it's really hard to differentiate chocolate chip cookies. Like you're talking to someone who bought chocolate chip cookies in a store like 2 hours ago. And like this is a Brooklyn problem. I had 3 different places on the same street I could choose to buy my chocolate chip cookies from. Am I going to differentiate them based on someone biting into one in a video and you know, who says it's goodest? No, like, so I would need to know a little bit more about like why this is different than me going to a bakery or buying what I can. And I'm not getting that at all. Like, why would I pay anything for this? Is this different from a health factor? I don't think it is. Is it different from a taste factor? Is it different from a convenience factor? So maybe I'm missing that. Like, and also like on the 12th second, it said like, you know, ships frozen. And I'm like, what? Like, wait, this sounds worse than what I would normally do to get cookies into my belly. So I'm trying to, you know, maybe I'd bury that further because I could see also how that's valuable. But the overall, I'm trying to say like, can you give it to me just from the beginning again? I think overall, I'm trying to understand what problem this is going with. But I do like the hook words. I do like that. You've made me feel. You say you love cookies, but then you eat this. I really do like that framing and that premise. It's very easy to understand and very easy to be like, yeah, I like cookies. Wait, what am I doing wrong? I love that. Okay. That I'm obsessed with. That's great. But try and find other ways to show that. Try and find other things to accompany with that. And try and do something else after that picks me up.
So there's a lot of like, you know, USPs or angles that'll come in front of this. Like if we're talking about ease of use or something, that'll go in front of this. But Jordan, you mentioned where did this soda go, which is a great reference. That's like a subreddit of way over the top infomercial style reactions to things. And so I want to push back a little bit and say that those do work. The reason why they're so over the top is because they do work a lot of the time. And I also think that like when I look at a lot of UGC, I don't believe it. I just generally don't. It's rare that I find someone where I truly believe that they're a lot of the reads are flat, the expressions are flat. I think there's even a trend to be like flat in making UGC these days.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't. I don't know if that works. I personally can't stand it, and I hate it. It does to be unemotional.
Yeah, in the read, 100. Yeah, that flat monotone read. I think it's like an anti-ad move, or like or it's just a very calm aesthetic vibe on TikTok. It's definitely a thing for sure.
Yeah.
I'm still
Is it flat or like trying to lean into like the naturalism of like someone speaking about something?
Yeah.
Yeah, because most people, when they're talking about cookies, are not like, oh my God, you will not believe the cookies I just bought. So I think there's just something. Good point, actually. Some people are passionate about cookies.
I am. If it's a really good cookie. Yeah.
Right.
Marry some home dough. Hook them up.
Yeah, send it.
So I believe there's those people about every brand. We have a brand where the organic social is people who are just freaking freaks about the product, you know, and they say it. And those testimonials, you certainly believe. So I wonder if, yes, it's over the top, but
what is this shot on? Why is this shot this way? Like, I think that was what Jordan was saying. Like,
what is this shot on?
What's your problem? No, I'm just kidding.
No, like this camera angle, this lighting.
It's in front of a window. Just in front.
Yeah,
of
is there a reflector here on the right?
Nope.
Or
none.
There's nothing. Okay. Looks like something's reflecting.
Nikki has a nice house with big old windows.
It looks produced.
This was not shot on a phone?
No.
It's on an iPhone. The testimonials, the B-roll, and the time lapse are shot on my camera.
Yeah, I could tell like what I wasn't sure because some of the iPhones and whatever can do like background blur, but the close up of the frozen bit, like that focus pull was, I was like, oh, that's like, you know, definitely seeming like a nice camera.
Yep.
But you know, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like something I'd see on TikTok. It doesn't feel like something I want to see.
The I'ma help you out kind of gives me the lot of you have been asking about my skincare routine kind of vibes.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like that line in particular does not feel like something I would ever say. So yeah, I'm with you there.
I mean, just real quick, what is the differentiator here? Like, is it that you can just make excellent fresh baked cookies without having to do all the work?
Correct.
And without them buying them and them going stale?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, they're shipped frozen, and like you just pop them in the oven 15 minutes, and it's like you bake them from scratch. Very good.
Yeah, you see how I'm like missing. I'm missing that.
Yes, for sure.
Yep.
And I think that to Jess's point, like this is how what we use as quote unquote what we call a base unit, where it's like there is always a hook that comes before this.
Sure.
We do put this one in market just to see what happens, and we may tweak it. But there is stuff usually ahead of it. But I think you're right in that maybe we're sort of missing the mark with the differentiator. I think we need to maybe revamp it a little.
I've seen another one of your base edits before on a previous episode, and it was great. And I was a big fan of it. Yep. This is one where I'm like, okay, I think you might want to get another base edit, home base to work with here.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a new brand. Everything we got was like Wicked Studio. And so it's hard to get a lot of the UGC. We'll get that, in the next few months or whatever. But sometimes you got to work with what you got.
The girl dipping the cookie in the milk was the only testimonial that they had in stock.
Right.
And it's pretty good. It's like as much as I made fun of it, like for being like, obviously it's good. It's still a good clip. It's genuinely a good clip. She's cute. It's a believable clip, a believable bite, believable milk. I like all of that. I wanted more of her, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did it perform?
We haven't even put it in market yet.
We haven't even put it in market.
Got it.
Probably not well, but we'll
It probably
update you.
won't. Yeah. Usually the base units aren't really. Yeah. Because there really is no hook.
That is the end of the show. Thank you for coming on the show, Jordan. Great time. Always a pleasure to have other HC owners, other people that, and you guys work with like serious scale too, right? Like,
yeah. So we really focus on people that want to spend $1 million a month at least. That's like our bread and butter. That's what we're all about. We're a lean team that really just, wants to find the brands that really want to push and, getting from that 1 million to 3 million a month in spend and hitting CAC goals. That's kind of what we're made for.
Cool. So where can people find your agency, you on Twitter?
Yeah, Twitter is at Jordan R. Menard, MENARD. Website is www.motif.digital. No.com. And I'd say Twitter is probably the best place to find me.
A good follow on Twitter. Definitely someone worth following on Twitter. Hey, Jess, where did you get that? Where did you and I get those hats, by the way? What do those hats say? I can't tell.
Those are great hats.
It took you an hour and 9 minutes.
Mailed them to our office.
Oh, that's so crazy. You gotta. Oh man, that must have had to have been delivered in an armored car because that's.
This is the one episode you choose not to wear your own hat.
I'm wearing the shirt. I wore a shirt. I got a haircut today. Okay, I thought you might do this, and I wanted to. I wanted to stand out. But yeah, Jordan's is on his way. He just ordered his.
I know.
Night.
Yeah.
Came out of pocket $7,000 for a hat. First time ever.
Crazy.
Sorry,
How
no
could
discounts.
you do that, Barry?
No discounts. MakeUglyAds.com and maybe look for a discount on that page, everyone.
It's not there.
It's not there.
If you do, actually, I need to post this. I need to say this more in these videos. If you would like me to help audit some of your ads and your campaigns and setups and your anything, please, hit me up. Either makeugly.ads.com or barryhot.com. You can find me on Twitter, wherever, and I will happily do it for a bunch of money.
How kind
Thank
of
you,
you,
Barry. Thank you, Barry.
Very
great show,
generous.
everyone.